Do the fourth generation cabinets have major audio issues? Has RK1UP learned from the disastrous rollout of the Simpsons cabinet? And is anybody going to pre-order Ridge Racer besides me? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened last week and look forward to what is going to happen next week, all within the confines of the home arcade scene, specifically Arcade OneUp. How the hell are you doing? Happy vacation week. I said this last night, but I hope everybody is kicking off their vacation, their holiday Thanksgiving vacation. At least for us here in the States, everybody looks forward to it. This kind of kicks off what is hopefully like 2 months of absolutely just getting nothing done at work. Nothing. We're going to get nothing done. We're going to be super non-productive. That's the goal anyway. Last night we finished up the Makers 46, and now I hate to disappoint you, but I'm back on Jefferson's. It's just really good. And, I want something that I can enjoy. Throat's a little sore tonight, so hopefully the bourbon will help. Let's try, shall we? Lots to discuss tonight. Lots going on. Exciting day tomorrow. We'll talk about that in just a second, but I have a very important poll in the chat right now. I took the same poll last night, and to be fair, John D is to blame for all this, okay? John D just threw it out there, broke a lot of hearts. On Twitter, he said, listen, hey, just to let you know, we're not going to be doing Primal Rage. It's too tough to emulate. Nobody would buy it. And then I thought, yeah, he's probably right. But then I was like, hey, wait a minute. I like Primal Rage. Primal Rage was awesome. I think I remember that. And then I dug through my, my assortment of PS2 compilations, and sure enough, it's on the Midway Classics, disc number 2. It's not a direct port, but it's pretty close. I'm like, yeah, I like that. So I'm like, come on, man, what are you talking about? John D, this will sell. I even showed a little, clip of me playing, it was my modded arcade one. I've got my PS2 hooked up to it, so I was playing that, and I said, hey, well, if you couple that with Pit Fighter, it would sell like hotcakes. What are you talking about? So that's the question in the poll. I posed this last night. The question is very specific: would you buy a Primal Rage / Pit Fighter Legacy style cabinet for $449? I want to use the current pricing. I want to make this as real as possible. I don't want to just say conceptually, hey, what about this cab? If it came out now, if it came out CES next year, that's probably what it would cost. That's probably the form factor. Would you buy it at that price? Let me know. Right now, it's looking about as bad as it was last night. But I'm not going to tell you what the results of that was. I don't want to, take away some of the, the legitimacy of this poll. Because we're all about legitimacy here on the channel. We got some people talking. We got some people commenting already. Let me try to catch up. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. 2 Mile Arcade, you actually, wow. This comment was left at 1 p.m. It says, hey, Battle, if you had the opportunity to select games for the following cabinets, X-Men, Simpsons, and Rad Rigger? I don't think I know what that one is. What would they be? The price you would charge and why? Okay, so I'm going to take it as this. To me, looks like this is the Konami wish list that we talked about before these things were really announced. These were the Konami beat 'em ups that I think everybody wanted. And if it was up to me, I would probably you have your marquee titles. You have TMNT, you have X-Men, you have Simpsons, but ideally all 3 of those would be on a cabinet, and then you could pick from the artwork. But let's say you got one of those marquee titles. I would definitely have Sunset Riders on it. Metamorphic Force is something I wasn't familiar with, but it was one of those leaked games that was supposed to be on the TMNT cabinet or the Turtles in Time cabinet, the Canadian listing. And when I looked into that game, I said, wow, that looks really good. The graphics look very similar to the X-Men beat 'em up. So I think I would add that. Vendetta looks really good. Moo Mesa, I have not played myself, but everybody seems to like it. So I think those 4 right there is a good place to start. What would I charge for it? $4.99, of course. No stool and no tin sign. Nate UT, just a few more hours until the Best Buy Simpsons pre-orders are officially late shipping. What a debacle that is. Ronald Lawrence, let's go 19K Fox. I can't go anywhere. I got to stay here. I got a live stream to do. But thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Love the Sunday night stream. Awesome, man. Thanks for stopping by. Rubicon Alpha, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you as well. Art Davison, evening, everyone. What up, Fox? What up to you as well? Frank D, what's going on? Got my jammy jams on, and I'm ready to go. Oh yeah, that is approved attire for this stream. Jammy jams all day long. I may be wearing jammy jam pants as well, but I'm also wearing one of the new designs from the 19K Fox Teespring. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Some of my new designs from my 2 projects. Kind of proud of this. It's kind of cool to make something and then make a design based off it and then make a shirt off a thing you made. So I'm kind of proud of that. These are the 3 designs currently available at the store at my Teespring. Go check that out if you want to support the channel. Nothing in the store is over $20. Try to keep price conscious about that. All the t-shirts are premium, and you got coffee cups and stickers and stuff. So go check that out if you so desire. Get caught back up. I apologize. Peter McNabb, what? Hi all. What is going on? How you doing, Mike Hawkhurts? Good evening, all. Jolly Green says hello, 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 indeed. Right back at you, brother. My class of '81 and Tron just shipped. Excited. This is the part that I really love. This is the part that I really love. Everybody getting their hands on that thing that they wanted, that game that they wanted. Whether it was what I wanted or somebody else wanted, that doesn't matter. The only thing that really matters is it's what you wanted. You had to have, and you got it. I'm happy for you. Excited. Very, very cool to see. Love my class of '81. Peter, absolutely. Yes. Yes, indeed. Arcade Junkie. I'm well, okay. It's like a Yoda-ism right there. Fonsole Canboy. Parody account. What? No bourbon tonight? Of course. Come on. We're drinking bourbon. Come on. You know better than that. Papa Brad's Gaming. How high is the leaderboard score on? I have no idea. I don't know. I do not have that cab yet. Let's leave it at that. Tim Hudson, sub 19K Fox. Hope you've been good. Had fun last night with your show. Man, thanks. I appreciate it. That was kind of fun. Definitely going to change up the giveaway streams. Not going to go into people's pages and find out if they're subscribed live. That's a big learning curve I had to undergo. A little check mark thing we had to kind of mark off the list. Like, we're not going to do that. Once we did that, it really streamlined everything. And it was fun. I had a good time. Definitely had a good time. Mike Hawkert says, based on the grammar in that poll, I think the drinking already started. Come on, don't be making fun of my grammar. I did graduate high school. Who you buy? Oh, God. That was supposed to be, would you buy? Don't judge me based on the question. Just you know what I'm trying to say. And I may have had one drink or two. Who knows? Could happen. Josh Lawson, what's up? Fox, what's up with you? How you doing? -1. You're talking to someone else. I'll let that, I won't jump into that conversation. Oh, no. Mike, I will say right now, I did the same. I canceled my Simpsons pre-order from Walmart and picking mine up at Best Buy tomorrow. I didn't do the Best Buy thing, but I did cancel my pre-order because what's the point? If I walk into the right Walmart right now, I can get it for less than I had mine pre-order for. So that was kind of sad. It was kind of shocking. So we got the Primal Rage with the poor grammar poll going. It's looking about like I thought. Unfortunately, I don't think people like that as much as I do. So we're going to keep that going. Big Reese, Fox, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so we're going to talk about some stuff tonight. Some major stuff, some heavy, heavy, big stuff. And when you got stuff to talk about that's this big, you really don't want to do it alone. It's the weight of the topic itself requires, it's a 2-man lift. So I got a special guest stopping in tonight. Let me see if I can get rid of that. I got a special guest stopping by. Not sure why they wanted to stop by this channel, but some people like to slum it and make others feel better. So let me just go ahead and jump in now.
Hey, what's up, Fox?
What's going on,
man? You shouldn't say that, man. I'm not slumming it, hanging out on the 19K Fox show.
Well, we do the best we can here on the show. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing okay. And when I look at you and how skinny you are, I realize what I could possibly look like if I ever go on a diet and lose some weight.
It's just the camera. It's
the camera. The camera loses 5 pounds. My camera, exactly. My camera adds 25 pounds.
It's a special filter I got on there. So
Good to see you.
what is going on with you? This is your vacation week? Yes, no, maybe?
Not yet. No, I mean, I went to Vegas, spent some time in Vegas for work. What's nice about my job is back before COVID, we would have to go to and from Vegas for business travel like once every month. So I've been to
Okay.
Vegas, and this isn't beating my chest. This is just telling you I've been to Vegas dozens of times. Like Vegas to me is it's like my second home, and because of COVID, we weren't able to travel. Like a lot of people were all working from home, but restrictions coming up. My company's traveling again, so I finally got to go to Vegas after a year and a half.
Nice.
Checked out the Pinball Hall of Fame, the new one, and that was an epic experience. Hung out with the Rexer show, but back to work this week. I'll be on vacation for the holidays soon, though. Probably second or third week of December, something like that. So I'll be
Oh,
off.
okay. So
So
you're not taking anything off this week though for Thanksgiving?
no, no. I mean, we'll be off Thursday, Friday, like everybody else. So the
No,
four
okay.
day 4 day weekend for me.
So I'm feeling like a slacker. Feeling like a slacker. I took the whole week off. Just had to take some time off. And before we get into it, I gotta. We're gonna have to switch the camera because it's another sad day. I hate to report this, but every single time,
What?
every day that goes by gets a little bit worse. P-dubs.
What happened?
Um, it is day number 497, and no Alien versus Predator. It's insane. It's crazy. It's a travesty.
That's a great
This
game.
just shouldn't happen. But there we go.
Yeah,
Day 497, and
that's a great game.
that's in no way a number that I made up at
Yeah,
all.
that's a great game. I do hope they put that in an arcade form. And if you think about it, we all thought that Hollywood movie type IP was impossible, right? Like, and then Arcade One Up gets Star Wars, and then
Absolutely.
I mean Marvel. I mean, honestly, guys, the Marvel stuff is just it's comic book IP. It's not really It's not like based on the movies, right? And but then they get Terminator 2, right? So it lets you know that anything is possible. So yeah, Alien versus Predator. But then again, the cost of those cabinets and those IPs, man, how much do you think that cabinet would be? 700?
I don't. I think the days of 500 are gone. I think
They're
everything's going
done.
to
It's
be.
over.
Look at Terminator. As far as we know, and I'm pretty sure we're
Mhm,
just going to get the one game.
mhm.
$699, $700 for one cab, and
It's a lot.
I'm one of the dummies that I pre-ordered it. But would I have done it if I didn't have a channel? Probably not. I'd probably wait and try to catch it on sale or use some gift cards or something, and 500. But even 500 is kind of tough for one game.
Yeah. So did you say you got the cabinet because you have a YouTube channel? Is that what you said?
Well, that's part of the justification. That's what I tell myself. I may have would have gotten it anyway,
Mhm.
but I think pre-ordering it, having to get it first is something I think I only do because I want to review it and I want to tell people about it and help them make their
Mhm.
decision. But I
Yeah.
think that I normally probably wouldn't have pre-ordered it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you the same advice I gave Michael B last week on the Super Game. No, on his Chill and Chat show. Even if you have a YouTube channel, don't be in a rush to buy these cabinets. Like that was a huge mistake I made the first year I was doing YouTube. I bought every single
Mm.
arcade one up cabinet that came out, right? And that just hurts the wallet, and then you have too many, and then you got to move the ones you don't use, and if your viewers trust you,
Mhm.
they'll still watch your review even if your review isn't the first review posted. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I think
So
partially
yeah,
part of that is a justification. I'm just going to
yeah.
blame the YouTube thing
Blame the YouTube thing,
because
but
honestly,
really it was personal. It was personal, not. But you're gonna say it was YouTube.
well, to justify it to other people as I'm bringing it in, honey. It's because of
Yep.
YouTube. But I've been jonesing for a shooter cab and a driving cab from Arcade One Up
Mhm.
to really round out the collection, to round out the arcade. So I wasn't digging on Buck Hunter. So when
Mhm.
Terminator 2 came out, I'm like, okay, this is tailor made for me. I got to have it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about Terminator 2, if we could circle back to that.
Mhm.
With the introduction here of big Hollywood IP, and does that mean Aliens versus Predator could happen? And also, Data East has a little game called RoboCop, right? Side-scrolling
Oh
beat 'em up game.
yes,
A lot of
absolutely.
people like RoboCop. Personally, I hate it because the game is very difficult, and I go through RoboCop rage. But a lot of people love RoboCop, and you notice that Data East licenses their games to everybody, but no one gets RoboCop. You know what I mean? No one has RoboCop. But then again, probably because it's a RoboCop Hollywood franchise, you got to pay more money, right? I don't know Data East still owns the actual IP for RoboCop, or if it's been handed off to someone
You know,
else.
I'm
But
not exactly sure. That was the movie studio was Canon, right? That made that.
I don't remember.
I can't
I don't
remember either. So
remember.
who knows who owns that? I'm sure it's
Right.
changed hands so many times.
But then again, because it's a Hollywood franchise, wouldn't it be funny if RoboCop, which is, let's be honest, a lackluster arcade game, but because it's RoboCop, if Arcade One Up did it, do you think it would be $700?
Absolutely.
Probably.
I don't know that it.
Probably.
I don't know that you can go back. I really don't know. I mean, once you've
Yeah.
gone that far,
Mhm.
I mean, because then no one would ever pre-order anything. They would just sit back and wait.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, but the cost, you have to think of the cost of the license, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, Terminator 2 has one game on the cabinet, as far as we know, right? And
Right.
a big reason is obviously due to the cost of the IP, from what we've heard. And then obviously we all know there's a big markup there as well, right, Fox?
Oh, there's a huge markup, exactly. Well, I mean, but then you have X-Men for $750, and we've been emulating that thing on everything, for I don't know, probably decades now at this point. I mean, it's not even a difficult game to emulate, and I know
Yeah.
that Disney now has Fox and they have all that IP,
Mhm.
but still, I mean, like you said before, we had Star Wars for sub $600.
Yep. John D is in the live chat, and he just wrote MGM owns RoboCop, and it would be a one-title game. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Yep, it'll
It
pop
doesn't
through.
surprise me at all.
Yep.
But then again, I mean, we see it's happening now with I guess the justification with Terminator 2 is that it's a shooting cab, so
Yep.
it is a little bit different. It's kind
Yep.
of purpose built.
Yep.
RoboCop is, what is that, 3 button?
3 or 2? 3 or
Yeah,
2.
so now you have a 2 or 3 button, you know, two
No
player.
light gun. Well, then
Yeah,
again, no light guns though. Part of Terminator 2 is you got the sit-in light guns that you're paying for, right? But
exactly,
RoboCop,
exactly.
RoboCop, you just got a joystick and a couple of buttons. So John
That's
D, are you sure it's going to be $700?
Well, I think that's what I'm saying. I think that if you look at a single game, game cab, and if that's the game,
Yeah.
I don't know that I see the appeal. I mean, it's and who knows? I'm sure they got their market research going on. Obviously, I was way off on the Primal Rage. 64 votes right now, and 67% say no. Even with my bad grammar, they say no. They do not want the Primal Rage / Pit Fighter Legacy. I'm gonna go ahead and
You know
in
what?
that poll now. Thanks
You know
everybody
what
who
that
voted on that. But yeah,
I I think that's pretty fair because I've done that kind of survey on my channel before. We've talked about Primal Rage. I like Primal Rage.
I do too. Yeah,
I
I
would
do.
love a Primal Rage dedicated arcade cabinet. I think it would look sexy as hell, that artwork and everything.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
but I got the same response from the viewers on my channel, Fox. It would seem like about
Hmm.
not as many want it as they're like Primal Rage.
I think it probably would have been a better game to go on the Midway Legacy than like Paperboy,
Oh
which is
yeah.
kind of the point that I made. It's kind of the point that I made to John. He's like, why don't you just swap it out? But then I understand the difficulty with emulation. It may not justify the cost, but what about Pit Fighter? Throw Pit Fighter on instead of Paperboy would have made a little more sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I did my review of that cabinet, I said like the two games you could have got rid of were Paperboy and what was the other one? What's the other one on there that's got wacky controls?
Oh, what is it?
Is it
It's not too
Defender?
bad.
Is it
Well,
Defender?
Defender, it's never correct. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably
So if
could
you
have.
right, so the philosophy was if you can't give us a great arcade experience with
Mhm.
that game on that cabinet, then just remove it and replace it with something else, right?
I
So
think so.
yeah.
I've always thought, and I've made this statement before. I think that the arcade one-ups are best as a anthology. So, like, you look at your PS2 compilations, you would have like a greatest hits, which was, let's say, take Midway for an example. They would have
Mhm,
every game they ever made, right? It was all kind of weird stuff, and you had driving
mhm,
games and whatever, but it was everything Midway made.
mhm,
Capcom would do anthologies, so you would have all the Street Fighter Alpha games on one disc. Plus, they
mhm.
would throw like Puzzle Fighter on there or something. That to me is an arcade one-up. All the controls are basically the same.
For those
Um,
games.
and that makes sense to me. I think
Mhm,
if part of their draw is we want to replicate the arcade experience, to me, I mean, maybe even number one is going to be that tactile experience, the specific controls for the game you're playing. So Paperboy should not be on a what's essentially a Mortal Kombat cabinet, in my opinion.
Yeah, true story.
Just trying to round out the games list, and I get that, but do it with games that make a little more sense. So
no, I totally agree with that, because I mean that's the curse of multicades. I love multicades. Multicades are awesome, but when you have multicades, and for a lot of games you want to play on there, you don't have the accurate control setup, right? And you're just kind of making do with what you have, and that's what they did with the Midway Legacy cabinet, especially with the buttons in that classic Mortal Kombat position. You don't have them 3/3. You know what I mean? You got the
right.
you got the 5-star diamond plus the
Five
block
with it,
with the block button way down here, and you're trying to play multicade games. So, for instance, I got that 99 Lives arcade control panel, the boss panel.
The boss. Yep.
And I put that on my Midway Legacy, modded that, has Raspberry Pi 4 in there now. But because of the button layout, because it's not traditional 3/3, I can't play every game that I want to play on that cabinet. I have to go in and change the button mappings on tons of games and stuff like that. So, like, if you're going to do that kind of mod, you probably would want to do it to like the Street Fighters or the Marvel cabinets that have the 3/3, right? Instead of the Midway Legacy layout. So, or just change the button layout. You could have it drilled to be 3/3. You know what I mean? But still,
right, exactly. I think
that's the curse. That's the curse of multicade.
But you make that concession because you've got 1,000 games, right? You know, I mean, come on, it's okay. I can deal with that because of the game selection I have, and I get that. But I think if you're talking about Arcade OneUp trying to go for that, you know, trying to stay in their lane, I guess, or I guess maybe they're pioneering. I guess this is kind of a different way they're going about it. Is you want to have those controls be very specific to what they're trying to, you know, give us. You know, whether it's Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Big Blue, or, you know, Star Wars. I think that's the appeal.
You know, John D is dropping bombs of information in your live chat right now. He's talking about the Dragon's Lair cabinet, and he's mentioning that on the arcade one-up versions of Dragon's Lair, they are going to have the true 4:3 aspect ratio, high definition version of the game. He's talking about how iArcade is using kind of like a modified Android PC.
Is that what that is?
And they're using a modified Android PC port of the game that is a 16:9 version of the game, but it has been cropped to fill the screen, right? So that's what John D is talking about. So he's saying that the appearance of the game is going to be more arcade accurate on Arcade OneUp, and I think that's kind of what we expect, right? That's what we expect from Arcade OneUp. We want it to be arcade accurate.
Exactly. I think for me, that's the part of that experience they're providing. It is that replication of that very specific arcade experience. You know, it's not sort of, and I'm not trying to knock any other multicade, producer. I'm not knocking that. It's just that has to be you're providing a platform that you can play thousands of games on, and it can't be, you can't be too specific. The specificity is your disadvantage. Whereas, Arcade OneUp, the specificity is their advantage. It is the thing that makes them unique and stand out. In my opinion. Speaking of Arcade OneUp, let's jump over to, I wanted to take a look at something real quick. I don't know if you saw this.
I'm
let's
excited.
go over to their website. They actually have some holiday deals on their website. Check this out. So we know about the bundle. Take it or leave it. If you've been just jonesing for the Polaroid, I have not. But if this is something you're dying for, it's $50 off. But the one that I'm really interested in, these two right here. So you got the sit down version. I don't know if you've been waiting for this, but it's $100 off.
I know.
On their website,
I'm the last guy to ask about this cabinet.
Come on, this is all you, baby. This is all you. But if you've been waiting to get your hands on it, I actually know someone who just bought this for $550. So I kind of don't want to show them that.
At least it's on sale. I mean, the bench, you're going to look like a doofus sitting in that bench, but that's.
I don't think there's any way around that. I think you're exactly right. $350. You remember the days when we could pick up a cabinet with riser and lip marquee for $350?
It's been fun watching Frogger, Fox. Frogger over the last like 8-9 months has gone from, if you've watched the retailers, Frogger has gone from like $399 to $500 to $550, like through a lot of the retailers. Like the price just keeps changing on Frogger, and now it's, how much was it? Can you go back?
Let me go back. I think it is $350 now. $349 on
$349. Yeah, and they give you free shipping now, which is
and
nice.
You get free shipping.
Arcade one.
I
So,
know.
guys, if you've been waiting for that epic Frogger cabinet,
Now's
now
your
is the time to hop
Do not
to
delay.
hop on that deal. You like the pun?
Yeah.
Hop on that deal.
You see the
Get your
hop. You
Frogger.
talk about because frogs
Yeah.
hop,
Yeah.
drink.
I mean, Frogger's not for me. Sit down outrun's not for me. The stand up outrun cabinet, though, a lot of people love it because it's got the extended riser.
Absolutely.
So it's taller. And then it just seems like stand up was the way to go on these until Arcade OneUp perfects a sit down version with a better like racing seat type setup. You know what I mean?
And I think that's where they begin to price themselves out of the market, because once you get into that, I think it's going to be an expensive unit. Now, I think I would make the argument that if they had invested right and we got that better seat, and the focus was on this sit down model, if you did it, and I don't know, let's just pick a random game, Daytona USA, and it was linkable, cabinets were either physically linkable or via Wi-Fi,
that would be cool.
I think now you have a winner. It's kind of specific, but I think that would be a situation where people would definitely go for it and pay. Now, what would they pay? I don't know, but is anybody going to pay $699 for this guy?
Ridge Racer?
Ridge Racer.
I mean, yeah, we think it's going to be set. And wait, hold on. We confirmed. Hell, I confirmed it on my video because I asked John D and he confirmed it. Yeah, this is going to be a $700 cabinet, guys. $699 for Ridge Racer. $699. Does have online Wi-Fi for leaderboards and stuff like that, but I really wish, because some of these games were truly multiplayer cabinets. I mean, these were cabinets that were linked in the arcade to race against each other. I really wish they had online co-op racing. I just think that would have made this a absolute must-buy if that was the case. But because it's missing that component, if that doesn't matter to you at all, this actually looks pretty interesting. Like, I've mentioned it several times on my channel. The two Arcade OneUp cabinets I'm interested the most in currently are the Ridge Racer cabinet and the Killer Instinct cabinet. I think those are both worth considering. A lot of these beat 'em ups, Simpsons, X-Men. I mean, $700 for X-Men for Simpsons. That's just. I see more replayability for my $700 when I play Killer Instinct or when I play like a racing game, because racing games have a ton of replayability to them, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The racing games, I'm still waiting for that flight game, whether it's like a Namco Ace Combat, whether it's an Afterburner, something like that. I'm waiting for that. Hopefully, knock on wood, CES 22, maybe, possibly. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think that's where we need to go next. We've got our racers, we've got our shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the next frontier, I guess. But so let me, you're going to have to, I apologize. I made these graphics when there was just going to be one guy here. So we're going to have to scoot in a little bit, just a little bit.
You want to go like this?
Yeah, about like that. Here we go. Boom.
Oh, look at that.
So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about, the only point of reference we have is, Outrun, stand up, 550. There are some differences. The number of games are the same. The fact that we're dealing with full 3D polygonal PlayStation 1 type graphics, you're getting some Wi-Fi connectivity. It's really just leaderboards. You're getting that headphone jack. But beyond that, I don't know. Rumble steering is probably the thing that is actually going to be a thing. And that's another one of the reasons why I have to have this, because I want to check out that feature. Is it worth 150 PDub? What do you think?
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I really like the shape of the cabinet too, with that light up marquee sticking way up high like that, and I mean, I think the Outrun games are better like arcade games. Like the Ridge Racer games, although they were in the arcade, I mean, odds are you didn't play these games in the arcade. Odds are you played these games on your PlayStation, right? So, because they like the video I put on my channel, 5 reasons why you should or should not buy Ridge Racer, I did mention like they only made about 300 of each of these cabinets, like Ridge Racer 2. Like Namco did not make a ton of these cabinets, so there's a good chance you never played this in a true arcade form factor. But the games are a bit more modern. They got the better graphics, probably faster speed, And I really, the red and black is hot, put some fire.
I love it.
What was it that Tony Stark said in the first Iron Man movie? Like throw some flaming hot red on there. You know what I mean?
Hot Rod Red. Yeah.
Put some hot red on
Hell
there, and I'll be
yes.
right back. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I actually of the 2 full-size cabinets I've ever owned, Ridge
Mhm,
Racer 2 was one of them. I
mhm,
did a full-blown renovation or restoration of a Street Fighter 2, and I had my Ridge Racer 2. I love the driving game. I didn't like not being
mhm.
able to change my view, and that's something that you're going to be stuck with Ridge Racer 1 and 2.
Oh.
Rave Racer, I think, is basically what Ridge Racer became, and that is going to give you different views.
Mhm,
I think the view changes for Ace Driver. You're behind, you're that third person type of view. You're behind the car, so
mhm.
you get a locked front bumper view for Ridge Racer 1 and 2, and then for Ace Driver, you're going to be kind of behind it. But Rave Racer, I think, is the one that I'm going to play most of all because you can kind of
Yeah.
switch the different views.
Yeah, I think I'll play. I do like indie car racing type
Yes.
games. So Ace Driver, Ace Driver 2, those will be super fun. And John D, man, look at John D. He's putting more secret information in the chat. He's
Listen,
claiming,
what is he doing? Come on,
look
I'm
at
trying
this.
to talk to PDub and he's in there dropping
I
bombs. What are you
know, but look
doing?
what he just said. They have better pedals. So
Oh, come on now.
I assumed that the accelerator and gas pedal, the actual plastic accelerator and gas pedal would be just the same one that they've used on Outrun.
Right, right, right.
So this is the first I've heard of him claiming these will have improved pedals.
This is
So
the exclusive right here, dropping bombs.
dropping bombs on the 19K Fox
On the
show this
19 Bucks
week.
channel. It's crazy.
Oh
Um,
my goodness. So we'll have to see how good they are, John. Instead of plastic, are they made of titanium or what are they made of, buddy?
titanium alloy. It's yeah, it's very
they're they're made of a better form of plastic.
it's a super duper ABS instead of just so I
um
mean that's kind of where I'm at looking at the
mhm,
price jump. There are differences for sure. I think
mhm,
for me though, the biggest difference that could justify some of that $150 is going to be the rumble. It's going to be the rumble steering. That part of that the
mhm,
tactility, I think is the word that I made up, or I don't even think it's real, but that tactile experience, that the vibration, even if it's just like a vibration on impact, it still adds to it, right?
yeah,
In my
I
opinion.
agree. No, I agree. I
Yep.
agree. I'm excited about Ridge Racer. I know some people are really hot dogging crapping on Ridge Racer, but I think Ridge
Well,
Racer
I'm
is
getting it.
definitely going to be worth consideration. And there's a good chance I might pick that one up. But man, 700 though, man, it's like 200 more than I want to spend, you
I
know?
talked about this in October. I said, who's looking forward to the 2K November? I mean, because that's what it is. If you
Yeah.
buy all 3 of their pre-orders, you're over $2,000, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of
Yeah.
puts it in perspective. And I don't know that I'm not saying everybody should run out and buy one, but I have
Yeah.
been waiting for a shooter and racing cab. And I always said too that with the shooter, I don't want a rifle. And I can, because I live in the South, I have a rifle. I can go hunt deer. I can
Yeah.
do that for real. I want crazy machine guns and rocket launchers and full auto and
Yeah.
monsters or robots was my was what I wanted to shoot. And T2 gives me that. So that was definitely something I wanted, and I wanted Ridge Racer. I like the 3D polygonal driving game. Rumble steering is interesting. I want to check that out. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I mean, I love Killer Instinct. I love the way that's shaping up. But I'm not going to run out and get that one right away. I will have it eventually. Probably going to wait for that second SKU though. What do you think?
Um, like they're gonna have a Walmart SKU that's gonna be cheaper without the
Well, I mean, are
stool.
you
Is
gonna
that
do you have to get this now with the stool? You got to be or are you gonna wait because they are
well,
gonna have the FCC filing showed that second SKU, the model. I'm assuming is
yeah.
gonna be without um, the stool and
Yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah, Killer Instinct's tough because a big reason to go after that game is if you're interested in the online fighting and the online fighting community that Arcade One Up is building. Those guys are doing a fantastic job, and they're so passionate and excited about it. You just want to participate in it, right? So, Killer Instinct, like I really want to get it because I want to participate in the tournaments and all that stuff. Like
Right.
those would be my reasons to buy it. Plus, we're going to be covering a lot of that stuff on our Multicade Monday show and things like that. So it's kind of like I got to have the product to cover it. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Killer. With Killer Instinct. I forgot what else you asked me. I'm sorry.
Well, before we move on from Ridge Racer, I just wanted to point out quickly that we went over this before on the show.
Yeah.
These are all the System 22 games that we were kind of in our discussion of Ridge Racer. These are the games that are going to be on the list, and these were the games that I wanted. So I almost got what I wanted. I think
Oh, look at that.
a big missed opportunity is Dirt Dash, because Dirt Dash is kind of four-wheel drive, off-road. There were some crash effects, so I really wanted that to change up the actual. It's another racing game, but to give a little more. So you have the drifting race car game, you have the Indy, and then the four-wheel drive trucks and SUVs would kind of change it up and really round out that experience. And then I Armadillo Racing I just threw in there just for giggles. So
who made Dirt Dash?
that was
that
Namco.
another?
That was Namco. It was part of their System 22 games. Dirt Dash.
Well,
if you look it up on YouTube, it's another racing game, but there's hills and mountains and rocks and dirt and crash effects, and it was kind of a progression. It was just a different. It was kind of like we have Grid, and then Dirt, and then all the other games now they're specific to different kind. I think it was more of a rally racing game.
Yeah.
So,
because I was thinking, why not throw that on like make an off-road, super off-road arcade cabinet?
oh, I would love that.
Have,
Well,
have like a dirt racing themed cabinet, but I don't think those were Namco. I'm trying to see who it is now. I think it might have been
yeah,
like
this
Flame.
is. Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, I don't know. What was it? Ivan Stewart.
Yeah,
His off-road game. Yeah.
Ivan Iron Man Stewart Super
Yes.
Off-Road. Love the off-road games. Those would be super cool to have too.
Well, back in the day, I built a two-player first gen arcade OneUp. It's possible. And I had a PS2. We were playing Burnout 3 on it, and I had me and my son playing it. It's possible to do that in a two-player form factor. But I don't know that 17-inch screen is ideal. I think when you start going that big, you got to think about going wider.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think that it's.
Yeah.
I don't know, or at least a 20-inch screen. I don't know.
Yeah, true. I got to tell you real quick, because you're talking about light gun shooting games. So
Yes.
when I was just at the Tilt Studio Arcade here in Arizona yesterday, and they have original Silent Scope and Silent Scope 2 arcades, and they're both in perfect working order. And I played them both, and I was thinking to myself, man, this would be super cool to have Silent Scope like in your house.
I love that.
Like the artwork on the cabinet is cool, the games are cool, but is Arcade OneUp actually going to give us the rifle with the screen inside the
scope, and then it's got to be mounted?
Can Arcade OneUp do that? Wouldn't that be cool though? Silent Scope.
I would love that.
Games were awesome.
I mean, I would love that, but I think that it's. I mean, we see it with Terminator 2 because they're that 3/4 scale and it's two-player. You can't mount the guns traditionally because they would hit each other. But Silent Scope was a single player, wasn't it?
Yeah, just one big rifle sitting on.
So you could get away with that. Maybe keep the barrel off, and just have like I guess this much of the gun there. It's possible. Yeah. It's possible. I would love, but you brought that up. I love that game. Silent Scope was dope, man. That was a cool game. I like that. There's so many cool mechanics.
John D just wrote in there, we could do it for $1,500.
Listen, John D, listen. I know you're trying to pretend like you ain't gonna do it, but you're gonna do the 6-player X-Men anyway, and it's gonna be $1,500 or maybe $1,300. So why not? Come on. I mean, swing for the fences, right?
What is the proper aspect ratio of the original 6-player X-Men arcade machine monitor? Isn't it a goofy 21:9 type monitor?
It was 2 monitors side by side.
Yeah,
so what is that?
Like, would Arcade OneUp do that, or would Arcade OneUp try and get 6 people to crowd around a 17-inch screen? Like,
I think this is what I think they would do. I think that, and experimenting with my own project, I think they would probably they would source what they have. What do they currently have? They have those 24-inch monitors from the pinball machines. I used a 27 on mine. I think they would try to do it with a 24 long ways. That 24-inch. The aspect ratio, I don't know if that would be correct. Oh, John says 235 by 1. What?
235.
Is that gigawatts, or is that
maybe that's the time of day in California? I don't know.
That's probably what
I'm just teasing.
But I think that maybe they would do that. I mean, go to the parts bin. What do we have now? How can we make this work? And maybe try to make it work with a 24, either that or that 32. But the only time we've seen a 32 is with that the game table. Infinity Game Table.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, Infinity Game
Yeah.
Table. So you know what? They've been releasing a lot of games on the Infinity Game Table, and now you have they told us that independent developers would start pushing their games onto the table. We're starting to see that where we now got the first game that you could purchase and download onto that table. I mean, it's not the most popular arcade one-up product, but you know what I mean? Like it's something to keep your eye on as that table develops. You know, if they get some really cool stuff on there, it definitely might be worth it. I still need to film my review video for mine. I was waiting because I heard they had firmware updates and new games coming, and I was waiting to do the review, and because otherwise I would have just covered everything that everyone else has instead of like all the new games. You know what I mean? So
I think
I need to get to that review.
oh, John D says yeah,
Ah, there it goes.
235-1 is
Ratio.
anamorphic ratio. Gotcha.
Yeah, where's console kits when you need them?
Exactly. Exactly. Somebody bring out the calculator.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I think that's not a product you want to sleep on. I think that it's something that could definitely well, because I don't know about at your house, but at my home on the PS3 and PS4, we would always download the Hasbro Game Night, and we would play Monopoly or Connect 4, whatever, digitally on the big screen, and everybody had their controllers, and they would play that way. So while it's not a product I've sprung for yet, I think they're waiting for once they get that killer app, whatever that killer app is, and I don't know what it would be, to really move product. I think it has a ton of potential, but we will see.
It's worth keeping your eye on, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely,
because you know it does seem that it's being supported and developments coming and firmwares and new games and stuff like that, and it's interesting. It has USB ports stuff, so you never know. Maybe you could play some arcade games on it with some controls. Who knows?
I was waiting for that crossover. That's I don't know. They don't want to, I guess, scavenge from the sales of their cabinets, but maybe they have an IP, they have a game, they have something they can't get on a cabinet for whatever reason. Maybe they move it to the Infinity Game Table, and then they have their own maybe proprietary USB controllers. I don't know.
I mean, it has its uses. Like, I mean, there's a ton of games on there, but for instance, I've been playing Mahjong because I love that Mahjong tile game. It's like one of my favorite puzzle games to play. And I'll sit there in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and play a round of Mahjong. You know what I mean? It's perfect for that. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not gaming with the family, so it's kind of cool.
I apologize, Hobby Hands. I saw this go by and I did not acknowledge it.
Yes.
I do apologize. $2 super chat. My favorite scene from Seinfeld, the Frogger scene.
Yeah. That is a great scene. I'm a big Seinfeld fan. Thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And because I was sleeping on you, I apologize. I'm going to give you the Ryu tonight. Maybe. Poor Captain America.
Poor guy.
Hobby Hands, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you getting back to me in your emails about some Lexan and acrylic maintenance. I really do appreciate those tips.
You know what's funny? I pronounce words wrong all the time. It's just who I am. I talk funny. I'm from Chicago, and they're making fun of the way I pronounce the game. Mahjong. Jeez.
Is it
Tato? I get yelled at all the time about that. I don't care, guys. They're just words.
We're doing the best we can.
They don't control us.
We're doing the best we can.
Mahjong. There you go. All right.
So, I hate to bring this up, but didn't you have an issue with your Big Blue?
Yeah, I still have an issue with my Big Blue. So my Big Blue arrived dead out of the box. Won't turn on, won't fire on. Tried new power cables, new ribbon cables. Tried plugging whatchamacallit? What else did we try to do? We tried troubleshooting. We took the PCB off, put it on a different cabinet, etc. The PCB is just dead. You know what I mean? Like my cabinet just won't turn on. So I had a choice, right? I was like, either just go return it, buy a new one, or or open a support ticket with Arcade One Up. Arcade One Up support actually has been really cool, really nice. Like they sent me new ribbon cables and stuff in the mail. And they're like, try this, you know. So that was cool. But you know, then I had to go traveling a lot. Like if I didn't have to go traveling, I probably would have returned the cabinet and just bought a new one because you know sometimes you get a dead stick. You know what I mean? Like it happens, guys. Stuff happens. Maybe it got damaged in shipping. Maybe it left the factory that way. You don't know what happened. But did I try chest compressions? Hobby hands were that's hilarious. We did not try. So yes, I have the big blue blues because I have a big blue cabinet that doesn't work, but I need to make a decision soon because it's you know, it's just sitting there.
Right.
John D's been awesome. John D's been telling me that PCBs should hopefully be shipping out soon to those who need a replacement PCB like me. But if it doesn't ship soon, like I want to get up and running. Like I can just buy the cabinet and return this one, and maybe I'll have better luck on the next one. But it goes to show you guys that, you know, stuff like this happens, you know, and it's unfortunate. So
it is unfortunate. I think the one issue I had with Arcade One Up, it was a bad PCB with my X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet. I did the ticket. They asked for like a video, so I shot a quick video with my iPhone, just kind of, hey,
did
this
all
is
that.
what it, you know, I turned it on, and they sent me out a new one. I think, and nobody here is making excuses for Arcade One Up. They need to do the right thing, but I will say that, you know, the parts shortages, the supply chain issues are a real thing, and that does affect reaction times of all companies, you know.
That's a great point. So let's assume it wasn't me. Let's assume I'm a first-time Arcade One Up customer, and this is my experience, right?
Right.
I buy a product, I order it from Walmart. Walmart delivers it. I plug it in, turn it on, nothing happens, right? And because you build it and you don't want to go and because even though you bought it online to return it, you have to haul it to the Walmart store, right? Either disassemble it or take it in there fully assembled and return it. It's a pain in the ass process. So you're
Absolutely.
like, you try to take advantage of your 90-day warranty. The company tells you, oh, yeah, you need a new part. We'll send you a new part. And weeks have gone by, right? Imagine if I wasn't who I am. A lot of those first-time customers, that might be the last time they're a customer of Arcade One Up. You know what I mean? That might really rub them the wrong way, especially if they're an impatient personality type and things like that. So for me, I think we've mentioned this before. I've owned like 20 some Arcade One Ups, and I've only had to have 3 support tickets ever. And this is number 3, and that's including this one. So for me, it's like I'm not panicking. I'm not making trash videos, like calling Arcade One Up out on the air, like, hey, I got a cabinet, you suck. Like they've been fair to me, I've been fair to them. So, but imagine how the first time customer feels, right? Like this may have been their last Arcade One Up purchase.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So Arcade One Up, I think they need to get those parts in, like get those parts off the boats, get them here. That way, if you know a first time customer goes through this, they're able to quickly resolve the issue because customer service is the key to customer retention. You know what I mean? So if you have a great customer service experience, even though you had a problem to begin with, you're more likely to stick with the company because you had a great customer service experience, right? So waiting weeks and weeks and weeks for parts is not a great customer service experience.
It's really not, but you and I are a part of the modding community. We're used to these kits that you buy to put together, to assemble, to do your multi-cading and whatever. So swapping out a PCB for you and I is really no big deal. It's just a
no big deal.
And we're
just
comfortable with that.
waiting for it to get here.
Yeah, not every customer, to your point, is going to be that comfortable with the process or that patient. And yeah, it's a big deal to spend 45 minutes to an hour to put this thing together, only to turn the switch and it doesn't work. It could just it could crush somebody that's maybe not that technically minded. So
yeah. Now I thought I saw John D tweet or post something somewhere saying that the X-Men, Simpsons, and TMNT audio issues were being looked at. Is that true?
It's a perfect segue to the very next topic.
Nice.
Fawoosh says, my X-Men cab has audio issues. You know who else is complaining about their X-Men audio issues? RGT85.
I saw that video.
Yeah, I saw that video. I watched it. His issues were valid, I think, because while I'm not having some of the weird inconsistency issues that he's having, the volume on my Big Blue was and is, it's not a problem, but it's definitely noticeable. I recorded a quick video with this to try to nail down this issue and to really, I guess, show exactly what the difference is between a Gen 3 and a Gen 4. So here you go. So it was more of an. Go ahead.
I couldn't even hear. All I heard was Golden Axe. I didn't even hear Street Fighter.
So exactly. So and for some context, I started the video. Both cabinets were at 15% or 15. Right, they were maxed out. Right.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, if you walk up to, you can't even hear Big Blue at all. No. I had to crank that thing down to about 11 or 12 before they were almost equal.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And there was another. I have to acknowledge the fact that the speakers are in different positions, right? So we have speakers that are down firing, hitting a monitor, bouncing back towards us, whatever. I don't know. I'm not a sound engineer. I don't work for Bose. I have no idea. But the other one is, you've got your Big Blue. Those speakers are pointing right at you.
Yeah, it should be blowing your ears off like the iArcade, right?
What do you think about that? I mean, if you haven't, yours isn't up and running.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a speaker expert either, but I would assume if my speakers are pointed directly at my face, just like on the iArcade, I mean, they're face level, the speakers on the Big Blue. I expect that thing to be blowing sound, blowing my ears out. But then again, I haven't even been able to turn my cabinet on to check. But I've heard the feedback. I've heard the feedback on the fan pages that volume is way too low on the Big Blue, TMT, Simpsons, X-Men. And for that to happen to 4 cabinets and many people providing this feedback, not like a sporadic one person per cabinet thing.
Exactly.
It sounds to me like there's an issue that needs fixed. John D said that they are looking into it. And what's really cool is if it's a software issue that can be fixed via firmware or something, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Just push out those updates, fix the sound, get the sound firing the right way. That would be great. Hopefully it's not a hardware issue. Hopefully it's
the great benefit of having the Wi-Fi is that any kind of patches can be done that way. And that's great. Yeah. But what I'm concerned about is if it is a board issue, if we don't have the amperage to drive those speakers, that's going to be a board level issue. I think static. I think some of the inconsistencies. RGT85. If you're subscribed to his channel, check out his video. He does a pretty good, thorough video, and he really articulates exactly what his issues and problems are with the sound, with the inconsistencies. I think that may be a separate issue, which is probably patchable and fixable and that. But when it comes to the volume, I don't know, man. Hopefully they can fix it, and
I hope so. Hopefully, like I said, I hope it's a software thing. Like they just need to tweak some stuff. I hope it's not a hardware thing. And you never know. Sometimes a hardware issue can be fixed using some kind of software update. But if it's a true hardware, like these things just can't pump out the sound we want, then that kind of stinks because level 15 on these cabinets, this latest generation, is not as nice as it is on the generation 3. Are we calling this generation 4?
This is, I don't know. I'm calling it.
Are we like in Marvel Phase 4?
Yes, this is Phase 4.
Phase 4.
We are in Phase 4.
All right. Well, the sound needs to be as good as Phase 3. You know what I mean?
Listen, yes. You left the great sound from Phase 3, and you went to a different design in Phase 4.
It's like you saw Avengers Endgame, and you were blown out of your ass with the sound, and then all of a sudden, Arcade OneUp comes out with Avengers versus Galactus or whoever, King the Conqueror. And what if, guys, you walked into the theater and the sound sucked? You'd be like, man, this movie sucks, right?
We can't have that.
Gotta have good sound. Gotta have good sound with video. Video games, sound is all. You gotta have good sound. Good sound makes for an amazing experience. Go ahead.
It is a massive, no, you're right. It is a massive part of the experience. It's the graphics. It's what you're looking at, right? That has to be on point. The sound has to be, we're not expecting, Dolby, 5.1 or whatever surround sound, but good, clear sound and a decent volume, right? A little bit of bass would be nice, but we get it. We understand.
Yeah.
Your controls would be, I think, definitely there. That's probably gonna be a third, as long as they work. They could always be better. But listen, picture and sound. Those two things are paramount. Akuma Rev for 199. Thank you so much for the super chat. If you need arcade one-up buttons or joysticks, hit me up. Somebody's been doing a little swapping. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really do appreciate it. And I'm sorry, but I got to send you to the pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
That's gotta hurt.
Speaking of that, I have a feeling when Arcade OneUp releases that online co-op fighting Mortal Kombat cabinet, that I'm going to buy my 4th Mortal Kombat Arcade OneUp cabinet. Isn't that sad?
It's understandable.
That's a lot of money.
It's understandable. I get it, and it would be nice to get everything you wanted in the first iteration, but I don't think that's realistic either. But yeah, I'm with you. It's
I had the original. And then I got the Costco version, and the Costco version was a great version of the cabinet. Then I had Midway Legacy, and now we're going to end up probably getting the online Mortal Kombat. Because, of course, I would want to get it to be part of the, playing the fighting games and stuff, right? So why is everyone talking about Qbert? I love Qbert. Did John D say Qbert's coming? Hold on. I might have an orgasm on your show if John D confirmed Qbert is coming.
John D, for my sake,
and you know what, John D, for the love of God, if you don't want to make a full cabinet, John D, give me a Qbert countercade. That's all I want. Give me a cute little yellow Qbert countercade.
I was about to say that. Listen, countercades are where it's at. That's almost like a test bed. They could do that as like an initial. We're not sure. Let's put this out there and see what happens type thing, right? They could do that, and then if that takes off, then they go 3/4 scale.
All right. No, he's saying no Qbert. He's saying he doesn't like Qbert, but he is saying there's a lot of games he likes, like Silver Strike, Sunset Riders, G.I. Joe.
This is what everybody's been asking for since we got the awesome Golden Tee, right? We were jonesing for that. I think it's the mechanic. I don't know about, what do you think? I think it's that super casual gaming friendly. It's a ball, you just roll it. I mean, the golf. That's why everybody can play. Golden Tee. And I think everybody is, from what I'm hearing, as much crap as I was talking about Simpsons bowling, everybody seems to enjoy it, and it plays well. So come on.
You know what I like about my arcade setup right now is if you walk into my loft, I have Star Wars with the flight yoke. Yep. I have the Atari Legacy cabinet, which is the Tempest shaped cabinet with the trackball and the spinner. I have the Golden Tee golf game with the trackball, which is the larger trackball. You know what I mean? And then also I have a couple of the Marvel vs. Capcom joystick fighting button games and things like that.
Sure.
But like I said, it diversifies your arcade, right? Like if I walk into my loft and all I had were joystick and button games, I'd be like, But when you walk in and you're like, I got a bowling game, I got a flight game, I got a racing game, I got a shooting game. Like you're like, I got so many options. What am I going to play, right? And also when your visitors come over, they gravitate towards those games. They're like, I want to play bowling. Let's do it.
Because everybody has a PS4, PS5, Xbox. They're familiar with that controller sitting down on the couch, and here we go. But you're exactly right. It's that tactile experience, right? It's grabbing a big, goofy, weird controller of whatever and interacting with a game in a different way. And that's what and I'm sure you and others remember about that arcade experience. That's what we always try to replicate at home. And you're exactly right. If I had a bunch of 6-button, beat 'em ups or fighters,
you'd be like,
it's like, I want something a little bit different. I have the flight yoke. I have the different looking cabinet, with the big blue. I got my awesome 4 players with my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my Golden Axe. But now is the time, my friend, to get something a little bit different. T2 scratches that itch for me. Ridge Racer, I think, is going to scratch that itch. And now we're looking at flight games. I would love to see a Road Blasters game using the same yoke here.
That'd be cool.
Another driving game, but I want a driving game where I can blow something up. I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but I like to blow stuff up in video games.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, have you played Missile Command?
It all starts there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it all starts there. But
absolutely,
that's really cool. And by the way, I love Rainwater Games here. $2 super chat. He said, I really love your woodworking content. So good. I gotta tell you, Fox, I love watching those videos of yours where you're just in your, is that your garage and you're just, or do you have a work shed or what do you have?
I've got
Where's all
I've
this?
got a little shop on the back of the house, and
It's
I used to
awesome.
have a.
Those videos are great.
Oh, thank you. No,
They're
that's where.
great.
Well, I mean, home improvement, all that. That was kind of my thing, and then
Mhm.
I have a technical, job occupation also, and then I also do some welding and all that. So that is where I have. I don't know if I love playing games, but I think I may love the fabrication just as much. But no, that's a huge compliment. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I was just going to get to the super chats.
So yeah, your show, bro. Go
I
ahead.
need to scroll. No, I need to.
You got a few of them. They're coming in like crazy now.
Yeah, you're keeping me on track. I appreciate it. Hobby Hands for $20. What is going on? Are you insane? I worked for a speaker company for years as web designer and the sound engineer. And I became life friends. I learned a lot about speaker design, and a badly designed circuit board makes a huge difference. Speaker positioning and more. So these are evidently all things to consider when laying out these, laying out these consoles, or laying out these cabinets, I should say. But we know that Big Blue had those speakers that sort of face you, a la iArcade. So while the position may not be the issue, I think you may be onto something as far as the circuit boards and some. Hopefully, like PDubs is hoping that this is a software patch that we can definitely fix. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I got to give you something great. I'm a big, silly, stupid Dragon Ball Z fan. Here you go.
What? I'll put you out of your misery.
Gohan!
Is that all you got? Don't give up now!
Blasting the bad guy into the sun is it never gets old. It never gets old.
We gotta pour a fire extinguisher on your live chat here. So your live chat, a lot of there's a couple of people getting excited as John D just keeps writing random comments in your chat saying, I like Run and Gun too. I like 10-Yard Fight. I like this game. I like that
I'm
game.
gonna have to go back and compile everything that he likes.
Right. So they're assuming that just because he's writing that in there, that he's trying to say those games are coming.
It's
but then again,
confirmed.
guys,
that's what that means, right?
he might be trolling the chat, guys. He might be trolling all of you right now. Remember when he was saying he likes what was it, Double Dribble and other games? So guys,
I think what that means is that
calm down.
That's what John D likes.
He just say what he likes. It doesn't mean that
he likes
doesn't
stuff.
Mean it's
right?
coming.
We all like stuff.
I like stuff too.
Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get that thing that he likes, but it is nice to know that he likes some of the stuff that we hope to see one day. Another $5 super chat from Sosa Fam Bam Bam. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The wizard John D can make it happen. Will he make it happen? Is it even possible? For one
so cool.
arcade,
that would be so cool.
To contain,
so cool.
What was the number of 56 carat? What was it?
It's an insane number.
It was insane. I had it on Dreamcast. I had it on I still have it on PS2. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Really do appreciate it. And let me give you. I think we haven't done this.
Did you do Zohar's $5 super chat?
Oh, he's coming up next. Let me take care of Sosa Fam Bam Bam with a little bit of Killer Instinct love. Here you go. Appreciate the
now you're supposed to ask me for permission before you use my gameplay footage on your channel.
No, wait.
That was
I obviously covered up your logo on the bottom.
No, that wasn't me. But dude, wasn't that awesome? That's what makes Killer Instinct so cool. I mean, it's over the top. And by the time you're done, ultra combo.
And just that,
awesome.
I am so excited about this cabinet.
Awesome.
If I wasn't getting these other two, I'd be getting it day one. I absolutely am just pumped about what they're doing over there because I
Yeah.
love Killer Instinct. It's one of those
All right.
games. It's so freaking 90s, right? It's just
Yep.
oh, it's awesome. Rainwater for the $2 super chat. I really love your woodworking content. So good. Thank you so much. I learned from the best. I learned from my pops and also a lot of YouTube channels, including that channel. I like to make stuff. He's a really good content creator and millions of subscribers, tons of good videos over there. But yeah, thank you so much, Rainwater. Really do appreciate it. And I am going to give you a little bit of Sub-Zero.
Finish him. Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
A little bit of an acid bath. It's good for the skin. It's like exfoliating. really. Console fanboy Zohar with a $4.99 super chat. We had a Namco legacy, a Midway legacy, a Capcom legacy, etc. Where is the Konami legacy at John D? Free Run and Gun 2. Konami legacy. Do you want it? I think everybody wants it. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. And of course, you're going to get some Scorpion love. Here you go, brother.
Finish him. Finish him. Scorpion wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
And John D likes Run and Gun too.
I think a Konami Legacy cabinet would be really cool. Like if it had like Sunset Riders, Contra, Vendetta, Metamorphic Force. I think like you could really mix up some different styles of games. Like you could have some beat 'em up games as well as, you know, the run and gunners like Contra and Sunset Riders. Hell, you could even put, what is that, Twin Cobra helicopter game? That would be a fun game as well.
I mean, Konami
like
is
shooting.
just. I mean,
It'd be cool. It'd be cool.
That would, you're exactly right. That would be so awesome. I was not familiar with the Metamorphic Force, but when that leaked for the, you know, that was the supposed games list for the Turtles in Time Cab in the Canada, I think it was a Canada Best Buy listing. They talked about that. I looked it up. It looks so similar to X-Men graphically. I was so on board. Yeah, I mean, I think the sprites are about the same size. It's got that same look. It looked really cool. I was into that. And then sadly it didn't happen.
Well, is track and field Konami?
That's a good point. Data
Like-
East? No, that's Konami. That's Konami. I
So
think.
so what if like Brad O'Connell, was it Brad? He goes, what in that list is AAA? What if the Konami Legacy cabinet was a track and field cabinet like artwork, right? But it had all the other games on it. I think a lot of people would love that track and field artwork. And stuff like that. But and also too, you're trying to avoid just throwing like turtles and stuff on there, right? You know what I mean? Because you've already done that before.
Right.
And the cost, you know, like, yeah, it's interesting. Sunset Riders.
I'm afraid that we're going to lose some of those deep cuts because we're only going for the big marquee titles.
Yeah,
Some of
like
the-
if you throw turtles on there, is that going to prevent them from putting some other really good Konami games on there? You know
That's what I'm afraid of. I thought that
Yeah.
sort of the gateway drug would be the Turtles in Time, right? Or X-Men. And then you would get the weird things that the normies aren't going to know what they are, but kind of the arcade nerds that we are, we're going to remember these and we're going to say, "Oh, great, that's going to be on there also." And that's
wait, Contra's an iconic. You could make a Contra skin cabinet. I think that would
that would be a vertical cab, right? That would work. I mean, you could do that.
Yeah, but these are the legacy cabinets. They're always mix and match, vertical, horizontal. They're never.
That's
It's never
true.
going to be perfect,
That's true.
guys.
Well, but
You're
I
always
think
going to
you
get mix and match. It's always
use the
gonna be that way.
Namco template, you know, as
Yeah.
far as the orientation of the screen, and then just change maybe the side panels and do a Konami. I mean, I don't know what else, but what other vertical games would they be able to do that's Konami? I'm not sure.
Well, like I said, like the Cobra, is it Twin Cobra or Super Cobra? I think that's a vertical helicopter shooting game. I think.
Right.
And those were kind of popular, but I don't know.
Because
I
these
don't know.
dollars are better than American dollars, Australian dollars, $5. Big Reese, what's going on? How is the T2 fine going? Finding the money or finding the cab, because it's not out yet, but I am very excited about it. Thank you so much
I'm
for the
sorry.
$5 super chat. Really do
I'm
appreciate
sorry.
it, buddy.
I'm sorry, Papa Brad. I called him by his full birth certificate name. I should have said Papa Brad's Gaming.
Good God.
And as we all know,
you've doxed
Papa
him.
Papa Brad is legit. All right, there you go. You got a shout out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the $5 Australian dollars. And you know what? Here you go.
You're done. You're finished. How dare you? How dare you? You and this planet are as good as space dust! Kyle Kentai 4! No! He's beating me!
Big Reese, thanks again for that $5 super chat. Really do appreciate it. Star Wars needs another release.
Like just re-release the cabinet, like more stock of it. Is that what he's saying?
I think so.
I mean, that would be cool for those who want it, but for those of us who already own it, isn't it kind of nice that we have it? And it is kind of funny when we see people panicking. They're like, "I want Star Wars. I want Star Wars."
Yeah, I
and
mean,
you're like, I
almost feel bad. Like I got the last lifeboat off the Titanic. Sometimes it's like, I mean, I'm living the dream over here. Sub $500 cabinet, stand up version, love it.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, Walmart will have like a sit down version pop up sporadically, but that's it.
I've seen twice this week in Arcade OneUp fan pages. Twice this week, two different gentlemen. One drove 200 miles to get his Star Wars arcade from someone else who was selling it on like Facebook. And another guy said he drove, I think, like 270 miles to go get his Star Wars arcade that someone was selling secondhand. I mean, that is commitment. That is commitment. And you know, in my opinion, it's still the very best arcade OneUp that's ever been made. You know what I mean?
It's the one I keep. I only have two in my office. Everything else is in the arcade.
Yeah.
Marvel versus Capcom and Star Wars. It kind of goes with the the aesthetic of the office, but it is just the game that I will.
It's awesome.
You just sit down and just play, and it really is that very unique experience. I think that's probably what it is more than anything else. Maybe if I had Outrun, I might play that more too. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just they did so many things right with this game.
Oh,
they really did. And I think that Console Fanboy is kind of hitting it the nail on the head when he talks about where is the comment? Anyway, Star Wars Trilogy.
Yeah, Star Wars Trilogy. Okay, so instead of them re-releasing the Atari Star Wars, guys, what if Arcade OneUp just said, you know what, we're going to give you Star Wars, but we're going to give you Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. We got it to run good, blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of people would buy that cabinet. Like if they had the choice between the old and the new. Like we love the old, but that newer Star Wars Trilogy is so cool. Oh, man, I would buy one. I
can't contradict you. I can't say. I mean, if they had both released at the same time, I would have gone with that Sega 90s action all day long. I love the Atari Classic, but that's really good. I mean, it's really, really good. And I don't know. I think Killer Instinct, for the most part, gives me just a ton of hope if that is done correctly. And listen, I think they're putting their money where their mouth is. When we talk about Simpsons, and I'll just say it like it is, the debacle that release was, announcing it, not announcing it. We didn't know what the second game was until the day before the pre-order and blah, blah, blah. And then you get your pre-orders at $500, but then and I think that, to be honest, I think that was more of a Walmart issue. I think they decided to stock their shelves instead of fulfill pre-orders. Yeah. I think that they know, and not just Sean D, I think the entire company understands what Killer Instinct means. If they come out with a half-ass effort and it doesn't measure up, it's going to be a bad day for the company. Oh, yeah. And I think we see them, they're sending them out. Twisted Gaming TV is going to get a cab. He's going to review this thing. And I'm not going to knock his channel, but he doesn't have 1 million subscribers. He's got 13,000. but they're going to him because he's considered to be an authority on the game.
Yep.
They're going for authenticity. They want
Talk
real validation.
Talk about a bold move by Arcade OneUp, right?
Absolutely.
You go to a YouTube channel, and guys, this isn't a shot at Twisted Chris. I like what he does.
Oh, I do too. I
But
subscribe.
Twisted Chris had a history of saying Arcade OneUp sucks. It's the worst stuff in the
Sure.
world. Don't buy it. And plenty of videos of him smashing the products, right? And then you go to like one of your biggest haters and say, hey, we know you know a thing or two about Killer Instinct and Killer Instinct 2. We'd like to send you a cabinet and be honest. Tell us whether or not we did it right. Tell us whether or not we did it wrong. And I think his cabinet's on his way to him now, finally. I mean, that's a bold move by Arcade OneUp, because he could come out and he could make a video saying this absolutely sucks ass, or he could come out and say they did it right. You know what I mean? So, Twisted Chris, and is Killer Arcade Games getting one? Because honestly, Killer Arcade Games should be on that list. I think that's a Maximilian guy getting
Maximilian is. If KIG isn't getting one, that's a damn shame. That's a crime.
Yeah. John D, if you're still watching the show, you better send a cabinet or at least a kit to Killer Arcade Games, because he knows those games like the back of his hand as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I
his
think it's
feet-
just, I think the text that we saw, the Twisted Gaming TV, like just made public. I think it was the DMs back and forth. He said there's only 3 games, 3 consoles going out, or cabinets going out. John D's going to get one, and then the other 2 are going to Maximilian and then Twisted Gaming TV. So I don't know that KAG is going to get one. It's a damn shame. He should. But I got to agree with you. He could take that thing, assemble it, and run it over with his car again and say it sucks. It is a risk, but I think it's a bold move, Cotton. I hope it works. I hope it pays off for you. But I think that the fact that we're seeing on, and I'll go ahead and let's go to John D's Twitter. I got it pulled up real quick.
Yep.
The fact that we have what happened with Simpsons and all the issues and all the problems and like I said, the announcing and not announcing. And then right off the bat, as soon as this thing is available to pre-order, John D is like, hey, here's the character select screen. Hey, here's the intro.
Yep.
Here's some gameplay.
Yep.
And then you have YouTubers going, they're meeting up with John D and they're playing the thing. It's putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. I mean, B Kong's R Us, he put out a couple of videos on it as well. And he did a pretty good job as well. He said he enjoyed the experience, even though I think he was still on a beta. It's not like the final version that everyone else is getting. Right. So, I mean, like, to me, I think, it's cool to have those expert opinions. You know what I'm saying? So it's really cool that we'll get like Maximilian and these other guys to say whether or not they feel it was emulated correctly. But still, I always watch more than one review. I always tell my audience, watch more than one review, and that includes mine. Because I also want to hear just from a general person who turns it on and says, you know what, I enjoyed playing it. You know what I mean? The general person might not notice if there's a tick in the emulation. You know what I mean? And they might,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it did this, but it should have done this, right? Like, so I still want to hear. I want to hear from casual gamers as well as experts whether or not they like this cabinet.
I know you're going to have the diehard purists that are going to hate some of the changes they made.
Sure.
To the attract mode, to some of the the intros, but I understand and I get it. I know you couldn't do point for point solid remake, but from what I saw, I thought it was tastefully done. I thought it flowed well with that very super iconic KI intro, that KI experience, just all that. Everything was so over the top and operatic and just if you get that the phraseology wrong and some of the things they say in the intro, and I think there was some issues with the beta running too slow or too fast, and then there was another video that Code Mystics actually sent to KAG and it was running at the proper speed. It was a little slowed down. It was a full gore intro.
Yeah, they really jumped on that quickly, right?
They were like, listen, I think they give a damn. I think they really do. I think they want everybody to know that they care about this because it's so hard. We know as civilians how hard this is to emulate and what we've had to do and the hoops we've had to jump through to make it work. They're trying to reassure us. if I get it and it sucks, I'll tell you it sucks. I'll tell you
Yeah.
it's lame. I'll tell you everything I hate about it. But if it's good, I'll also say that. And I'm encouraged just by what I see going forward. I mean, they're putting their best foot forward. You know,
Yeah.
let's hope it pays off. And
Hey, anytime Code Mystics is involved in an arcade one-up cabinet, I feel less worried about how the cabinet's going to be. So let's just put it
Right.
that way. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be fine, and I'm looking forward to watching those review videos. I still haven't placed an order for mine yet, but I'm probably going to get it because I want to take part in all the tournaments and stuff. Do you think there will be a separate SKU that'll be cheaper?
the FCC filings suggest they list a second model.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I'm assuming, obviously, I'm not an insider. I'm assuming that's going to be a second SKU, cheaper without a stool. I think personally that what we're going to have moving forward is you're going to have that first SKU, that more expensive SKU ship and get into the hands of those customers before the other SKU is available. That's going to be part of the premium experience. You get a stool, maybe you get a sign, who knows? But you're also going to get it first, and that's part of that premium experience. And then later on, maybe 2 months down the road, Walmart's going to have a $500 version, or I think $529
Yeah.
based on the Simpsons cabinet is kind of what I was thinking. But it could be $549. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 549. You're just probably gonna have to say, "Let's do it." Like,
Absolutely.
it ain't gonna
Yes.
get better than
Yes.
that. I've made videos complaining about pricing. Every YouTuber who covers arcade one up has made videos complaining about pricing. But the
Yes.
reality
Yes.
is, guys, we can whine, cry, and complain all the way to the bank. You can speak with your wallet and not buy the cabinets and send that message, right?
Yep.
But it's not like they're going to say, "Hey, we heard, 50 people complain in a Facebook group and 5 YouTubers made a video. Let's roll back our prices. We're going out of business." You know what I mean?
I think
It's not going to happen. And even
yeah.
if component prices drop, which component prices are starting to drop overseas. I've heard from a couple other arcade companies who I speak to. Even if component prices drop, I don't see the cabinet prices dropping. I think that it's just going to be, hey, we're already here. Let's just keep it here. Like, it'd be weird. Like, all of a sudden next year, all the cabinets are $400 again. Come on. You think that's going to happen? Come on.
From just a business perspective, once you charge so much, why would you back off that? Other than like a sale. But I think that you're right. Listen, if you don't like these prices, speak with your wallet. Don't buy them. Wait for guys like us to get them, to review them, to put them through their paces, to show you the exploded views and the PCBs and all the intricate details before you make your decision. And then if you decide you want to wait till there's a price drop or there's a cheaper SKU or some guys on Facebook Marketplace harder for cash and he has to sell his, then you can do that. But you're right. That's the only way you're really going to send that message is to send it with your wallet, either purchase or not purchase. And but there is one thing that I got to show you before we take off. Something that's been bothering me about these 4-player cabinets, these new 4-player cabinets.
What is it?
Here you go.
I'm ready.
So on the left, you have the standard side panel. On the right, I kind of took a little something out of it. That's what I've been wanting to do to this cabinet forever. I don't know why that wing is so low. It should be the height of the marquee.
What wing are you talking about?
The wing on the right is the one that I've modified. The wing on the left is the stock wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That has just been bugging me.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
it's just, it's like they intended that marquee to be much taller than it is.
Pull that back up. Let's take a look. So on the left side panel, that is what the Simpsons looks like. Now, guys, does it actually look like that big of a wing? If any of you actually own the Simpsons arcade one-up cabinet, let us know, because this is a render that we're looking at here.
To be fair, that's true. Yeah.
And yes, we had shown there's an amazing mod where someone on a Facebook group took a Mortal Kombat 2 Costco cabinet and they cut the holy hell out of the side panels. And they did that. They slanted the screen back super far.
Okay.
and
Okay.
the guy cut the side panels. I forget his name. We hyped it on a live stream, and we even showed the picture of it. If you guys know what I'm talking about, he took his Mortal Kombat 2 Costco
I think I saw. Yeah, I
cabinet,
saw this.
and
Right.
he slanted the screen back, cut the side panels, and also trimmed down the wing. And it looked amazing. And it was like, why doesn't Arcade OneUp make them like this instead of the legacy cabinet shape where if you're over 5'9", you can't see the screen, right?
I agree.
Like,
Yep.
that was a genius way to do it. And no matter how tall you are, you could see that screen. I forget
Absolutely.
that guy's name, but that was an amazing mod. I like what you did there. Vic Vicious says no wings. I don't know if he's saying he has it. Yeah, Pablo, that's it. Cogs are us. His name was Pablo. But does anyone, guys, are the wings that bad on the Simpsons cabinet in real life? Let us
That's
know.
a good, yeah. Let me put it to the community because I don't own that. So yeah, throw it out there. Anybody?
I like what you did though. I like the cheap Photoshop.
It's
It
just-
looked as bad as my Photoshops. That's
I
why.
was, yeah. Why, I'm not. I don't pretend to
why
be a Photoshop
any
expert.
of the artwork on my channel, I hire out. I pay people to do it because I can't do any of that stuff.
If
So,
anything on my channel sucked, if you hate the thumbnails, that is all my fault. I would not blame anybody else at all for that.
yeah.
It would sell 10 times more.
Amazing. Would sell 10 times more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Console Kid was talking about that same MK
Yeah,
mod.
the same
And
mod
that,
we were talking. Yep.
like literally, John D, take that picture and make all your cabinets
Mhm.
look like that. And it would be amazing. You would never have anyone complain about line of sight ever again. There would
He
be
also
no
likes
more
stools.
line of sight complaints. You know what I
He
mean?
likes stools.
No
Stools
more
are good.
complaints about wings or ledges. Just make them look like what that guy Pablo did.
I've
Do
been
it,
making fun of the
John.
wing since we saw the first renders. I've been making fun. I'm not gonna pretend that I ever thought they were cool. I don't like them. I think it looks so much better when that marquee is damn near flush with the outside.
Mhm.
And they've already done this. So the one thing that Kong when he was hanging out with John D, he highlighted the new Mortal Kombat 3 skin of the Legacy cabinet. Looks like they raised up that control panel a little bit. Did you see that?
I saw that, and
Level that off.
that's
Yeah,
a good move, but
very good move.
unless that cabinet's online, I'm not buying that cabinet. So it's got to be Wi-Fi online enabled. So if that's just the Midway Legacy with Mortal Kombat 3 skin on it,
Yes.
but it nothing else is different, I'm definitely not getting that. I'm waiting for online Mortal Kombat, and then I'll buy my 4th arcade when I'm on. Somebody shoot me.
There's no
Shoot
shame. There's no shame in you can. Listen, I'm with you. I get it, and I think that as long as they introduce worthwhile features, I mean, I hate to say this, but we're probably going to keep buying them. I mean, if it's a true generational leap, I mean, back in the day, it was deck protectors and lit marquees and speakers that were above the monitor like they should be. Now you're going to have to come with something, and it looks like Wi-Fi is going to be probably the only thing that's going to separate these, fighting games from the older generations, really, and not just Wi-Fi, but online play.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
It's
been fun. It's been fun talking to you, man. I like doing this. You're a good guy, Fox.
And I appreciate that. I really do. It's a shame you didn't have a drink, though.
It's the bourbon. Well, you know me. I'm a diabetic, so I don't drink a lot of alcohol.
Oh,
so.
well, unfortunately, my glass is empty. So if you've been on this channel, you know what that means.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up, folks. I want to special thanks to my special guest, PDubs, for stopping by. Hit me up last minute. It's like, hey, if you need some help on the channel, and listen, I always need help on my channel. He was here to save the day. Really do appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, man.
Tell everybody watching what you got going on. What's coming up next week?
Okay, so I've been traveling a lot the last 2 weeks. So if you follow my channel, PDubs Arcade Loft on YouTube or on any other form of social media, I have been posting a lot of content, but I got a lot of content here coming up soon. We got reviews for Pong, reviews for oh shit, I totally forgot. We got like 5 review videos coming out here, as well as tutorials, mods, pinball videos. I always have stuff coming out. Make sure you guys check out the channel, subscribe. Special shout out to 19K Fox for letting me on. I've been a big fan of you ever since you started your channel, and I look forward to seeing you continue to grow. You're killing it, and you're probably one of my favorite channels in this space on YouTube. So very nice to be here. So thanks for letting me come on and hang out with you guys.
No, listen, anytime. And that's high praise. I really do appreciate it, man. Oh, once again, thank you so much for stopping by. That's awesome. And I got a couple things in the works this week. I do have the final 6-player X-Men cabinet video
Nice.
coming. It has its home. It is on its mount, custom made, the 4-inch riser. And I'm going to get 6 people around this. It's actually more difficult than you think, especially on the holidays. But finally, this week, we're going to get 6 people around it. Going to shoot that video. And I finally find a custom home for all my countercades. So stay tuned for that. And once again, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. And I will see you next time.